Good evening, class. I'm here to give you a speech on morals in children literature today, and everybody in the class is related to children in some way. Some of us are parents, uncle, brother, sister, and many things. So to make everybody understand what morals in children literature help in shaping children will certainly bring some interest to everybody in the class. So the reason for me choosing this subject is I am a literature major and I am into writing right now, and I'm working on writing a book. So I think like the book with morals will always get more attention than the book without morals, and there are like certain ways to put morals in the book so that readers will know the difference and they will start using it for better purposes for the children. And children literature with morals are excellent source of information for shaping children's behaviors and enhance their learning process. To pursue it, everybody to use books with morals for the children and relate these morals with example for better understanding. I'll also provide you the list of books where morals are presented. So, okay, these are the forms of children literature, and they come in many ways like riddles, fables, legends, myths, fairy tales, jokes, cautionary tales, nursery rhymes, playgrounds, songs, and folk tales. And there's a long history of children's literature too. It started from 14th century, 1481, Reign of the Fox, a beast fable, was introduced, and after that 1484 the Fables of Aesop was translated from French and it came into arena. 17th and 18th centuries, James Genway's Token for Children was introduced, and 19th century John Bonnier's A Book for Boys and Girls came into play. And how this children literature are relevant to children's as they provide delightful encounters. So you can always teach children like what happens, you know, and it also develop moral and ethical perspectives for children, make connection, and you can make your own connection to those stories and teach children how they work. And it transfers into new imaginative level, and you can always imagine yourself as a character, and that way your children will better understand what the moral is, and it brings happiness and peace of mind too. It increases knowledge of the world, and it's fun to read and explain too. When there is the children literature moral, it will be very fun. And there's a moral in American stories. Stephen Kellogg, he is often called as traditional, which evolved in North America continent in 16th century. Much bigger than Martini, runs on the theme patience and best friend teaches sharing and true meaning of friendship. Once somebody play with me has taught about friendship to 3rd grade or younger. A penguin pop for Pinkerton teaches us how to maintain good relationship with animals. And now there's something different. I'm going to talk about Panchatantra. This is stories for children told in Indian subcontinent from very ancient time. And Panchatantra means Pancha means 5 and Tantra. Tantra is just like the English word mantra, like how you chant everyday life. And the author of this stories is Pandit Vishnu Sharma, and he wrote this moral stories for a king who wanted to teach his sons about morals. And it is also called Niti Srashtra, it means wise conduct to life. And there are like 5 great stories from Panchatantra and their morals. And this is a story about the foolish lion and the clever rabbit. And the story talks about on the moral how we can win over brute force, and eventually how a small rabbit fools the lion by making him see his own image in the pond and dive and kill him to to death. And the story, the greedy jackal, and its moral is greed leads to the downfall. And there is a greedy jackal who tries to eat the bow first instead of the boar, and the bow actually tied up to the string hits him and kills him. So you can, and there's another story, the crows and the serpent, and it's, the moral on the story is size and power cannot do over wisdom, and how small crow steals necklace from kings and throw it on the snake's burrow, and eventually the king's people kill the serpent. So size and power doesn't matter when you are encountering two big objects. So, and there's another story about Giza and the tortoise, and patience plays an important. You must have heard about this story where tortoise opened his mouth when he was. They were taking him to some other places, and he falls into that. And there's another story, the mice and the elephants, and this story teaches a friend in need is a great friend indeed. Everyone has their own qualities, and it happens once elephant has helped mouse, and when the big elephants were trapped, and the mouse eventually cut the ropes and helped them too. So everyone has their own qualities, and they're going to prove the way they are. And this is the status of children book sales in 2008, and 16.15% of total books were sold in 2008. About like overall books, like all kind of books, adult over there, and religion, e-books, and like this. And this is the rise of children books sales from 2007 to 2011, and it increased from 3.25 billion to 4.6 billion by 2011. So in 4 years, it increased by 1.35 billion. So that's a pretty impressive figure. And this is the volume of children's book written in 2011, and 4% of overall books written in 2000 were children's book. So every 100 books written, like 4 of them were children's book. And this is the review of the main points. Teaching morals through children's literature helps building children's behavior in a good way. There are many forms of children's literature I have discussed already. Children's literature, how it started from 14th century, stories from Panchatantra, Stephen Kellogg's American writer, and his children's book. Children's literature is a prospering industry which is flourishing every way. So I've shown you the statistics too. Good moral stories are regarded and praised everywhere, and these are the list of references I use. Any questions?